Hello and welcome. Today we're going to walk through how to access Clever and download our student badges, as well as how we can access Clever student credentials in case we cannot use the QR codes that Clever provides us with. So we are going to begin by going to clever.com and then clicking on that first top result that comes in if it does not take you to the website directly. Now, instead of clicking on where it says login as student, you're just going to hover and then click on teacher or staff. Type in your school name so that it can find your district. Once you see it, you can select it. Your username and password for this website will have been provided to you by your principal. They should have been provided with the proper credentials from your associate superintendent. So please reach out to your principals in order to make sure that you have your passwords and usernames for your Clever login. And this should make life a lot easier, as we will see. So we're just going to type in that password and username, and then you're going to click on login. It will bring us to our Clever dashboard, in which you will see 4 tiles down at the bottom. Your Discovery Education, which is a resource provided by CTN. So if you click on it, it will sign you into Discovery Education. It'll ask you if that's who you are, and you'll press sign in. And it could be as easy as that. If you go into your iReady, the same thing will happen. If you press Sadly or Connect, the same message will occur. If you go to Renaissance, you may or you may not encounter an error message. I'm going to click on it to see the error message that will appear, and I'll explain a little bit why this happens in a minute. So the Renaissance tab here is actually going to be where our Trustee Freckle and Lalilo apps are located, because they are Renaissance products. CTN supplies a subscription for these services for the Diocese of Brooklyn and Queens. So we're going to click on the Renaissance app. You're going to see that says the page isn't working, and even if you reload it, it'll say oops, and you'll have an issue with Renaissance. This is an issue that we are currently working on fixing, so hopefully within the next week. At time of filming, we actually have an update as to how this platform will actually look. So let's dive in and see how the Renaissance icon works on Clever. On our Clever dashboard, we are going to click on the Renaissance app icon, and that will take us directly into our Renaissance website. From here, you will see a Freckle tile, or if you are a lower grade teacher, you will see a Freckle and Lalilo tile. From there, you can select all your different classes, as well as go in and use all the premium features in math, ELA, social studies, and science. All classes are already set up because they have been integrated through Clever. Let's continue. Another way for students to log in is through the download login badges. So if we click on download login badges, you'll notice we get another window, and that window will allow us to start accessing and downloading that PDF that will generate. So we're going to say Clever badges, and then it'll give us a bunch of different numbers. So we're going to download that to our desktop for now, and then click save. And you'll notice that up on the top right here, it'll say Clever badges, and it'll download right here. We can click on it and a PDF will open up. So if I click on it, it might take some time, but a PDF will open up with that information. These are just the QR codes for each individual student. We can cut them up and then present them to our students. If we have iPads, it's obviously easier for scan. The one thing that I do want to focus in on is Clever credentials all the way at the bottom of this whole grid here. and you're going to see that it has a username and a password. So this username is your Clever username for each individual student. So each student will have a username that is different and then a password. Notice the password is hidden, and if you press the little button that says show, it will show what that student's password is. And if you have our trusty student binder where you can fill in that student information, then students will be able to use this information to log into Clever without having to scan the QR codes. So this is an alternative way of logging into Clever. You can also go onto more class tools up here right next to where we clicked on download login badges. And we can do a couple of things. We can say open app on student devices, which depending on which class you are, you can click on it and it should auto open the Clever app for every student. I don't believe it matters on what device it is, but it's always worth trying. Then you can also go to download student usernames. This will download, again, we see here a little pop-up. It will download a spreadsheet with each student's first, last name, and their own usernames. And those are the credentials for Clever. So you'll see right here that it downloaded. It will open up a spreadsheet with the student information, again, first name, last name, and then the username, which is the same Clever username that's listed here, so that all you can do is go in and type in their Clever passwords, and provide that, each individual student with that instead. Again, if you have our trusty student binder, then you can start writing them into that student binder, and this information should not change, but I would ask your principal or your admin whether or not that's true, but this way that information can be carried over and we're not having to look for username and passwords year after year. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us at ctn@desalesmedia.org.